The film begins by showing a simple apartment in a rundown neighborhood, suddenly transforming and merging with another apartment. The residents of both apartments are amazed to find that their doors can transport them to different points in time. One door leads to the world of 1999, while the other reveals the world of 2018. The scene then shows Gu Shoujo, a 30-year-old woman living in Shanghai in 2018. When Shoujo was 12 years old, she lost her father in a car accident caused by a drunk driver. Without financial support, Shoujo had to leave her childhood home. Since then, she has tried various ways to earn money to buy back her house, from working in a jewelry store and going on blind dates in hopes of finding a husband who would pay a high price for her house. However, all of her efforts have been in vain, leaving Shoujo stuck in a small apartment in a slum area. Moving back to 1999, we meet Lu Ming, a 25-year-old man enjoying boiled corn in an open field. Lu Ming works as an architect for a real estate development company, but despite his talent in design, he struggles to find clients willing to invest in his projects. At the end of the day, both Ming and Shoujo return to their home in the poor neighborhood, where they strangely seem to live in the same apartment within the same building. While Shoujo does her laundry, Ming prepares dinner for himself. The strangeness begins when vegetables washed by Ming in the sink mysteriously appear in Shoujo's bathtub, and Shoujo's body scrub ends up in Ming's sink. Additionally, women's clothing appears in the cooking pot, while Ming's dinner mysteriously ends up beneath Shoujo's towel. However, due to their tiredness from work, they pay little attention to these strange events and go to bed shortly thereafter. The next morning, when they wake up, they are surprised to find strangers in their home. Shoujo even starts to hit Ming, thinking he is a thief. Their confusion grows when they see that their apartments have merged, with no walls separating them. It's raining outside Shoujo's window, while sunlight shines through Ming's window. The door to the apartment has also merged. Ming opens his bedroom door first, revealing that he's still in 1999, which surprises Shoujo. Then Shoujo opens her door, and Ming is shocked to see a modern city in 2018. They realize that they share the same apartment but exist in different times, mysteriously connected for unknown reasons. They try to open their doors at the same time, but the apartment shakes, causing further merging. Upon further inspection, they realize that each door can only be opened by the respective tenant. When Shoujo tries to open Ming's door, the apartment vibrates, indicating it won't open for her. During their conversation, Shoujo figures out that in Ming's time, her father is still alive. After that, she decides to visit her childhood home, where she sees herself playing with her father at age 12, which stirs up emotions. But when she tries to approach, the ground shakes violently, stopping her. Fortunately, Ming helps her return to the apartment. Back in Ming's apartment, intrigued by his future self, he asks Shoujo to open his door. Instead, she gives him a laptop so he can learn about himself online. Ming is impressed but faces a problem when he tries to type his name, causing the laptop to malfunction and the apartment to shake again. This makes them realize they can't interact with their past or future selves, because two identical individuals cannot exist simultaneously. In the evening, Ming is fascinated by the futuristic technology he sees. He watches Shoujo effortlessly play music through a Bluetooth speaker and order food with a mobile phone. Meanwhile, in a mysterious scene, a wealthy businessman discusses dimensional phenomena with a scientist. The scientist then explains using the example of a plane disappearing in the Bermuda Triangle and reappearing, suggesting it traveled through different dimensions. He believes a dimensional convergence is happening in the city and needs to be located accurately. The businessman sees an opportunity to exploit the dimensional portal for personal gain. Though his face is hidden, it's clear he's funding research into this phenomenon. Monhao Ming, struggling to sleep, starts talking to Shoujo about her life. Shoujo then shares the hardships she faced after her father's death, including losing their family home and belongings due to financial problems, with only her father's keychain left. The next day, they go back to their daily routines, heading to their jobs. While Ming is eating boiled corn in a restroom stall, he accidentally overhears a conversation between his boss, Zheng, about the CEO's plan to steal company assets. At that moment, Zheng realizes Ming heard him and offers Ming to stay quiet about what he heard in exchange for investment opportunities. Although tempted, Ming asks for time to think it over. Meanwhile, Shoujo, working at a jewelry store, unexpectedly meets an old friend. Worried about her situation, she pretends to be the store owner. Luckily, the real owner understands and plays along, helping Shoujo keep up the charade. During their talk, Shoujo invents stories about being married to a wealthy person, making things more complicated for herself. After that, Shoujo friends asks her to attend a dinner event for couples to introduce their partner. In the end, she reluctantly agrees after her friends force her. With no other choice, Shoujo rents a dress and convinces Ming to pretend to be her wealthy husband. However, Ming, who has lived modestly, struggles to act like a rich person at the event. The situation worsens when Shoujo feels embarrassed as the supposedly real diamond ring she wore accidentally falls into the grill and melts away. After they return home, Shoujo remains upset about what happened, while Ming tries to comfort her by baking a chocolate cake. Meanwhile, they see a TV program announcing the latest lottery winner, giving them an idea. They decide to look up past winning lottery numbers from 2018 at the library, and then go back to 1999 to buy those specific numbers, hoping to become rich. However, they end up spending all their savings on different activities through time travel. Their mistake becomes clear when they unknowingly drink expensive wine from 1999 at a bar in 2018 and realize the high cost when they get the bill. With not enough money, Shoujo has to pawn her belongings to pay off the debt, thinking she can get them back the next day. But their excitement over the expected lottery win is shattered when an unexpected earthquake hits, causing their winning lottery numbers to disappear from the paper. This series of events serves as a clear reminder to them that trying to change the future is pointless. As a result, Shoujo and Ming find themselves in a heated argument as they face their tough financial situation, with Shoujo unable to get back her belongings from the bar. In the midst of their disagreement, Shoujo sees Ming's face displayed on a building, leading Ming to realize his future success as an entrepreneur in 2018. Curious, Ming goes into the building and is amazed to find his future self, now called Lucy, running one of China's biggest construction companies with a multi-million-dollar value. However, Ming's presence accidentally triggers a strong earthquake, causing panic among the people who quickly leave the building. During the chaos, Ming gets injured by falling debris, resulting in Lucy having a similar scar on his hand. At the same time, Lucy gains new memories of Ming's actions after the dimensional shift, showing that Ming's decisions will indirectly affect Lucy's life. It is then revealed that the wealthy businessman trying to use the dimensional portal is actually Lucy, Ming's future self. After that, Lucy explains the strange events to his scientist friend, who advises that Ming should be returned to a point before meeting Shoujo. Any changes in Ming's actions after meeting her could greatly impact Lucy's present condition. There's also a risk that Lucy might disappear if Ming does something different from what Lucy did in the past. The next day, feeling confident after seeing his future success, Ming quits his job, believing in his ability to succeed without investors. At the same time, Lucy, now with Ming's memories, approaches Shoujo at her workplace and asks her out. Despite being the same person, Shoujo feels uneasy around Lucy because of his different behavior compared to Ming. Still, Lucy tries to impress Shoujo by taking her to a fancy restaurant and buying her a new bag. Towards the end of the date, Lucy encourages Shoujo to distance herself from Ming to ensure his original life path, which is crucial for Lucy's existence. In return, Lucy promises to fulfill Shoujo's dream of owning her own house. In the end, Shoujo reluctantly agrees to Lucy's request, not just for the chance to own a house, but also for Ming's future. When they return home, Shoujo hugs Ming tightly, telling him she plans to move out soon. While this news saddens Ming, he also feels hopeful about bringing happiness to Shoujo in the future. Shoujo also passes on Lucy's advice for Ming to accept Zheng's investment offer, surprising Ming as he had just quit his job that morning. The next day, Ming hurries back to his office to accept Zheng's investment proposal. Later, he briefly meets Shoujo at home, where she says her final goodbyes before leaving. It's a difficult moment for both, marking their separation after the shared experiences they've been through. After their farewell, Ming discovers that he can still access the door to Shoujo's world, obstructed only by an umbrella. This suggests that Ming can travel to 2018 on his own, without needing Shoujo's help. Meanwhile, at the company, the CEO accidentally catches manager Zheng trying to steal assets. This leads to Zheng injuring the CEO in a panic when confronted, prompting him to resort to poisoning the CEO to cover up the incident, making it look like an accident. Meanwhile, Shoujo, now back at her childhood home, meets Lucy, who returns her bag pawned at the bar. Initially mistaking him for Lucy, Shoujo soon realizes he's Ming upon seeing a rental label on his suit. Shoujo immediately kissed him and sharing final words before he leaves. Both overwhelmed with emotion, they shed tears, knowing this is their last meeting. When Ming returns home, he receives an urgent call from Zhang, who asks for his help in arranging the CEO's death to look like an accident. Ming realizes that Lu Si orchestrated his success through collaboration with Zhang, resulting in the CEO's demise. Over time, Lu Si becomes ruthless, prioritizing profit over ethics, which goes against Ming's values. Upon examining the CEO's keychain, Ming realizes that Shoujo's father was the CEO. He understands that Shoujo became an orphan and lost her home due to Lu Si's actions. Determined not to repeat past mistakes, Ming decides to stop Zhang's plans and save the CEO's life. As a result, Lu Si disappears from the 2018 timeline. After a frank conversation with the CEO, Ming is advised to leave quickly to avoid getting involved with the authorities. On the other hand, after reclaiming her childhood home, Shoujo feels dissatisfied and decides to return to the slum apartment. However, this time their meeting spot changes to the end of the street, divided by a time distortion. Realizing they must part ways, they share final words before Shoujo disappears along with the stabilizing time dimension. In this new timeline, Shoujo will never experience the loss of her father, leading to a different life. Nearly 19 years later, Ming, now 44, encounters Shoujo again in 2018. However, due to the timeline shift, the present Shoujo doesn't recognize Ming. When she notices an elderly man watching her, she misunderstands his intentions and reacts defensively, thinking he's a pervert. Moral lesson from the story: don't try to change the past, or you might end up drinking old wine and chasing lost lottery numbers. And if a strange man offers you investment opportunities in a restroom stall, it's probably best to decline politely.